Chancellor, 2 hard acts to follow and 1 hard act to accompany. For those who think that the popular performing arts offer no career prospects, and there must be some parents and even graduates here today who have their moments of doubt, we have with us today a model of show business longevity. Sir Cliff Richard has spent 45 years performing and has recently had a party to celebrate this. And he shows he shows no sign of stopping. He has just completed a world tour, starting in the UK, ending up in Australasia and the Far East. He's working on a new Christmas recording, no doubt hoping to gain the Christmas #1 slot from recent usurpers. And he's preparing to record an album in Nashville for release next year. Harry Webb, that name, was born in India in 1940. His family moved to North London in the post-war turmoil, settled in Cheshunt in 1951. He went to school at Cheshunt County Secondary, excelling in football as well as drama and athletics. Indeed, had he not, the story goes, heard Elvis Presley singing Heartbreak Hotel on a car radio in Waltham Cross one day, we might have been honouring Sir Cliff for quite different achievements. But suitably impressed, and who would not have been, he joined with some friends to form a band they called the Drifters, perhaps unaware that there was already one in the States, but they made their public debut at a badminton club dinner dance at 40 Hall in Enfield in March 1958. 1 month later, Harry Webb took the name Cliff Richard, with perhaps a nod towards Little Richard. In August, he won a contract with Capitol Records to record Move It, and in less than a year, with a backing group now called, famously, The Shadows, he achieved the first of many #1 hit records. Since then, more than 250 million Cliff Richard records have been sold. He's the only UK artist to have topped the charts in each of 5 decades. He rapidly moved into films as producers recognized his potential appeal to an audience wider than the teenage record buyers, and his lasting popularity was established, gentler than that of more excessive rock stars, with boyish charm and a voice to make hearts melt. Even though he sometimes presented a tougher image, he must have been the only rock musician who could make a black leather outfit seem harmless. Cliff and the Shadows played and recorded together for 10 years before Cliff headed off to establish himself as a solo artist and to work in film, TV, and on the stage, predating Colin Firth as the heartthrob of costume drama with his portrayal of Heathcliff in the West End in the mid-1970s. In 1995, he became the first pop star to be honoured with a full knighthood, awarded for his services to charity. His charitable work is extensive and springs in part from his deep Christian commitment. Cliff turned to Christianity in the mid-1960s when other popular musicians were tending to look for a more chemical route to enlightenment. His beliefs were dismissed at the time as a passing fad, but have proved to be a lasting guiding light to his life. Indeed, Chancellor, his beliefs almost led to Sir Cliff treading the stage as a Middlesex graduate, for in the reappraisal of his life that followed this Pauline moment, Cliff was interviewed by the principal at Trent Park College for a place to train to become a school teacher. Unfortunately, for many hundreds of school children, this was not to be, for I'm sure he would have made an excellent teacher. At least today, we can make up for your missed graduation day. Sir Cliff is particularly committed to the Tear Fund, the highly respected Christian relief and development charity, and he makes regular visits to their projects worldwide. He will be in Cambodia later this year on their behalf. He is also a strong supporter of the Roy Castle Lung Foundation, the only charity committed specifically to research into lung cancer, which has done so much to reveal the dangers of passive smoking. Chancellor, we have to be grateful that the rain held off last week and Wimbledon finished on time, or we... With an audience like this, you don't even need to finish the jokes. We might have had difficulty persuading Sir Cliff to join us instead of leading community singing on the centre court. Cliff's love of tennis is well known. What may be less well known is the effort and finance he has contributed through the Cliff Richard Tennis Foundation. This charity provides tennis equipment and professional tennis coaching in schools, especially primary schools, with the aim of developing a healthy lifestyle for children and hopefully the love of the sport and the skills to produce tennis champions of tomorrow. Middlesex University is currently better known for the table and reel versions of tennis. Hopefully, when the graduates of the foundation become the undergraduates of tomorrow, we will establish our superiority in the lawn variety as well. Sir Cliff Richard remains a pop icon, untarnished by the excesses of fame. His lasting appeal owes much to his continuing youthfulness, to his energy and his charm, but most of all to his talent as a musician and performer. Chancellor, for his enduring contributions to popular culture, to charities, to the development of lawn tennis, and well, for being Cliff. I present to you Sir Cliff Richard as eminently worthy to receive the award of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
By authority of the university, I'm delighted to admit you to the honorary degree Doctor of the University. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed. I can't tell you, Janet and I were speaking earlier, these sort of things are far more nerve-wracking than playing as I did at the stadium here, because at least in those situations we've rehearsed and we basically know what we're going to do. But for me, this is an experience beyond anything I could have expected in my life. I'm one of those people, my orator told you that I went to a secondary modern school. That was not planned for me. I was the top boy in my school when I was 10, and I was beaten to the #1 spot by a girl. But nevertheless, I felt academically, when I went into the then 11+ examination, that I would undoubtedly get to the school of my choice, which was the local grammar school. But it wasn't to be. I'm one of those people that doesn't take exams well, and I failed and went to the secondary modern school. Fortunately for me, Elvis did come into the picture, and it did inspire thousands of people like myself to emulate him, to try and be like him. I felt I was really fortunate that I didn't try for too long, that I managed to find my own identity and forged my own way. But for me, standing here, and I know many people don't believe in miracles, but for someone who failed their 11+, I'm now a doctor, for goodness sake. This is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you. And I can only underline everything Janet said. We often have, and my orator has done a similar thing to Janet's, that when we hear, and it's so difficult standing there where people are actually speaking about you, admittedly everything he said was true, but it was slightly embarrassing for me to stand in front of some of you who I know probably have no interest in the music that I've made over the years. Everything is so diverse. We all have choices. And I think that, they do have fan clubs here. But what I'm trying to say is that the things that have happened to me I have never really taken for granted. I've been very grateful for the fact that my life has, up until this point, now led me all over the place and finally to this wonderful, wonderful honor. I could never have imagined this happening to me. And hearing that the university has supplied people who have become politicians, businessmen, all walks of life seem to have been covered. I know, and this is one lesson I'm grateful to have learned in my life, people like myself, and remember, Janet could quote reams of Shakespeare, and I've got Living Doll. So I do not kid myself when I say to you that people like myself, we don't actually control much. We don't actually control what happens to our society. But the people that come out of universities like this, you are the ones that have the potential for controlling and dealing with the society, because you've already proven that you're able to learn. And I think probably the best lesson I've had in life, even though I am never going to be an academic, I am not an intellectual. I could never be one. I don't have the brains to be one. But I can still learn, and I can learn about life. And it seems to me that what you are all embarking on is the most incredible life for yourself. And if you follow what you faithfully believe you can do, you will affect somebody somewhere. Someone said to me, one man cannot, that's one woman as well, one man or woman cannot change the world, but you could change the world for one person. And in a way, why should we aim any higher? But we do, and I guess we should. So all I want to say to you is that I have achieved quite a lot in my time, and being a knight seemed impossible. Having a doctorate like this would never, ever have entered any of my thoughts before. And so, Chairman, Vice Chairman, all of you folks, thank you so much for even considering the area that I come from as being worthy of acclaim. I do thank you for my doctorate.